Hey, have you heard about my AI alter ego? That's right. Ask Alan Anything is now live, and we've trained it on my 13 books. We've trained it on over 200 podcasts. It has most of what's in here, not everything, but most of what's in here. And you can, when you're sitting around going, gee, I wonder what Alan would do in this situation, or I wonder what Alan would say in this situation. Well, now you can. Go to whatwouldalansay.com. Enter the coupon code podcast because you're going to get half off. It starts at only $10 a month. And now when you're thinking, I wonder what Alan say, now you can actually ask. Go to whatwouldalansay.com, enter the coupon code podcast, and start asking me anything. Here's the secret shopping stats for this year. Listen to this episode. Ooh. Welcome to another episode of the Wedding Business Solutions Podcast. I'm your host, Alan Berg. I'm a speaker, author, sales trainer, website reviewer, and I help businesses like yours sell more, profit more, and have more fun doing it. Enjoy this episode. Hey, it's Alan Berg. Welcome back to another episode of the Wedding Business Solutions Podcast. At the end of the year, I like to recap what's been happening with our secret shopping. Because a lot of you know, we do a lot of secret shopping. We've actually shopped in the past 2 years, 834 companies as of this point. I think it's actually more than that, but the stats I have here are for the 834 companies. And I wanted to update this because I wanted to encourage you with the fact that our biggest opportunity, you, me, everybody, is the people that have already reached out, already shown interest, and they haven't yet said no, right? So that's where your biggest opportunity is. So let's see. I'm going to give you the stats here, and you might have been shopped by us, maybe not. If you came to one of my workshops or whatever, there's a good chance you were, whether I shared the stats there or not. Some of my clients have us shop them, but this is all across the spectrum too. It's a lot of venues and it's a lot of entertainment companies because I speak a lot of those events, but there's photographers and florists and planners and officiants and you name it in here, dress shops, you name it in here. So here's drum roll. We got a drum roll. Let's do a drum roll. So we've shopped 834 companies overall. And here's the first stat that I never thought I'd need to have, but I needed to put it on here, is what percent replied at all. Okay, now what does that mean? That means we went to your website, we filled out your contact form. What percentage didn't reply at all? So overall, for the 834 companies, it's 84% replied at all. That means 16% never replied. And I had my assistant at one point when it was 15% hadn't. I said, just reshop them. And she reshopped that 15%, and a third didn't reply a second time. So I don't know, technical issues or just nobody paying attention. I don't know, but those companies are losing money every day. Now, this year, it's worse. It's worse. 19% of the companies never replied. Only 81% of the companies we shopped this year replied at all. Last year was 85%. 2023, it was also 81%. So crazy. How many of you fit your messages onto one screen? Well, pretty consistent for the 800 and change versus this year, 46%. So that means less than half of you are fitting your messages to one phone screen when we know that they're reading your messages on a phone screen. So how many of you want to read a message that's longer than one phone screen? Not many. And your customers probably don't either, especially because they're Gen Y and Gen Z. So I'm guessing they don't either. All right. So that's not a good stat. Only a third of you ended with one question. And I can't emphasize this enough. Alan Katz, if you're listening, thank you again for that conversation we had in your car years ago, right? That way you just dropped this little truth bomb on me that you always have your people end every message with a question because it gets more answers. And I'm like, duh, my messages that end with a question, of course, are going to get more answers because you're continuing the conversation, not ending it with a period or an exclamation point. And then I go on further. I actually wrote a book, Why Don't They Call Me? I wrote another one, Why Are They Ghosting Me? And I've credited Alan with that, ending with one question in there. But the thing is, it's not just, are you ending with a question? It's what is the question? So one of the other things here is, are you only asking for a tour or an appointment, which 45% are? We know that Gen Y and Gen Z are phone averse. If you're asking for a phone call or a Zoom call right away, you're going to get ghosted by a lot of them. If you're pushing for the tour right away, it's a high pressure tactic, even though you might have worded it nicely. And I know almost everything works some of the time. You want it to work more of the time. Your biggest opportunity is the ghosts. It's the people that have already reached out and they haven't said no. They already like what they've seen, read, heard, and watched. And 45% of you are pushing right for that high commitment action. So turn this around and say, if you were the customer just trying to get some information and the company said you need to come in, are you going to ghost them? Probably, right? And here's the hard truth. All of us are ghosting somebody right now. You, me, everybody. Somebody we're going to get back to, somebody we want to do business with or want to get back to, but they're not a priority right now. And we might have marked the message on red, might have even flagged it, and it's getting buried in our inbox. Maybe we'll get there. Maybe we won't. All right. Auto replies. 29% auto replies. We don't count that as a first reply. It's just a confirmation. Some are written better than others. Some are that friendly. Hey, I hate auto replies too, but just wanted you to know that your message got received. We're busy helping other couples, other customers, whatever. We'll get back to you, and then give them a reasonable thing. I use an auto reply when I'm out of the office. The only time I use it. And even then I get back to people quickly, but I want them to know because of time zones and travel. I may not, like the other day when I was, just stuck. Oh, I shouldn't say that. I'm stuck in an airport. I'm responding, and I get the Wi-Fi in the planes. I'm still responding. So even when I'm out, but the out of office is going to say it might not be right away. Attachments, 38% versus 37% for the big group. So it's still pretty consistent. More than a third of you are putting attachments. I can't stress this enough. Attachments is a distraction for them responding. Open that same thing on your phone. You're going to find it's not formatted for a phone 99.9% of the time. It's hard to read. You have to pinch to read it. And it was usually, and again, 90 plus percent of the time, it was your printed brochure that you just sent the PDF. And that's not the format. It was not formatted for a phone screen. Brochures are designed to get you to make an inquiry. If they already did, don't step backwards. I talk more about this in my books and other things. Okay. Links, same thing. 81% putting links. If you send me to your YouTube, your Instagram, your TikTok, your website, I had one that sent us to a Google photo gallery, right? You're distracting me from doing the one thing you want me to do, which is to get back to you. If I've already reached out, I already like what I've seen, read, heard, watched, or personally experienced, why would you send me to try to reinforce that when I've already made the inquiry? You're going to send me to Instagram where I can go and get lost in watching other videos, or TikTok where I can get lost in other videos, or YouTube. You want me to respond? Don't send me away, right? So again, 81% of you have links there. And then here's the other one. Overall, for the 834 companies, I'm looking at the stats, only, what is it here? 48% tried twice. That means 52% send one response and then never followed up. And this year, it was worse. It was 55% sent one response. Now, that's 55% of the ones who responded. Let's remember that 19% never responded, right? But 55% tried once and gave up, right? So 45% tried twice. Only 27% this year tried three times. That's worse than we were getting. We were getting almost a third, right? Four times down to 19%, five times, 13%, 6, 11. You go all the way down. You get out to 10 times. And this year, it's only 1%. It's 2% overall. But this year, it's 1%. So if you're giving up after one or two, you're just leaving money on the table, right? The average follow-ups is about 2.5. But the reality is, if you take into account that 19% never replied and 55% gave up after one, the bar is low. And you might be setting that bar because you might only be following up once or twice and saying, okay, they're not interested, when other people are getting business from those 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, some of them 8, 9, 10, and more. We stopped counting at 10, and some are doing more than that. So if you're overwhelmed, got to take a step back. It's the end of the year here. You got to take a step back and say, engagement season is upon us. How are you going to keep up with that? Can you use technology? Like if you fill out my contact form, you get an auto reply, not an auto reply, you get an automated reply. And then if you don't respond, you're going to get 9 more. If you don't reply, if you do, then I respond. Or I've had Venue X AI on here. So if you're a venue or a caterer, you can have an AI agent respond, have the conversations, and book the tour for you. All right, look that one up or reach out to me. I can point you to it or make an introduction. Right, my Ask Alan Anything chatbot agent. I have people that are putting in the inquiries, getting a response, putting in their response, getting it tweaked, sending it back. Right, use a tool. Right, there's so many good tools out there right now. But not following up is leaving money on the table because you're chasing more inquiries. What you really should be doing is squeezing more out of the ones that are already inquiring because they've already shown interest. Instead of trying to find people that are interested, work with the people that have shown interest and have it said no. Because if you're a customer and I'm a customer and we know that from our experience, people give up on us too soon, maybe we're not ready to make a decision right away. Maybe something else gets in the way and takes a higher priority, but we're still interested sometime. Right? I just changed mine from 8 responses to 10 because I get people responding to the 8th saying, not yet, not yet. And I actually just had somebody respond to my 6th message telling me, still interested, not right now, going to think about it a little bit later. And that's the 6th one. They didn't respond to the first 5, right? It's still alive. If I had not reached out, it wasn't top of mind for them either. So there's the stats for this year. Not pleased with them. Not pleased. 19% not responding at all and 55% giving up after one. You're leaving the easy money on the table. I say the easy money because these are people that reached out to you. And please don't call them fake leads if they're ghosting you because we're all ghosting somebody and that doesn't make us a fake lead. It just means you're not a priority right now. Follow up again and again and again is a whole lot easier than throwing money and time at trying to get more leads when you've already got leads that you don't have a closure on. So end of the year, I hope that gives you some impetus on that. Let me know how I can help. You can go to iwantalan.com and just, fill it out and tell me, how I can help you. You know how you can get a hold of me. It's all in the show notes and all there, alan@weddingbusinesssolutions.com. I hope you have a great new year. Don't make resolutions, make commitments, and I'll see you in the new year. Thanks. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Wedding Business Solutions podcast. If you liked it, please subscribe to this channel and post a review on your chosen platform, Apple Podcasts or whichever one. If you have any questions about anything in this episode or any of my episodes, email me directly at alan@weddingbusinesssolutions.com or visit my website, alanberg.com, alanberg.com. If you have any suggestions for future topics or guests that you'd like to see, please again, email me or visit my website. Thanks for listening.